to be 21-year-old DeMar Trevion Reed of Grenada, Mississippi.
He says there are no signs of foul play, and counselors are being provided for students and faculty. A man who had warrants out for his arrest apparently didn't want to be caught and led Capitol Police on a chase from where the officer tried to pull him over at Ellis and Capitol at about 3:15 p.m. Monday, all the way to I-20 and Highway 18, where 3 people were arrested. The driver is charged with evading police and being a felon with a firearm. Charges haven't been listed for the 2 other people who were in the car. 2 Jackson firefighters burned in a fire that is for now being called an arson. That happened at a building on Ellis Avenue about 4:45 Monday morning. Division Chief Charles Felton says that building had been set on fire before. The firefighters are expected to be okay. He's asking for the community to give their comments tonight. Alderman Kit Kitchens of Hernando has proposed naming a street near the town square in Hernando after Charleigh Kirk, and the city board will hear that proposed ordinance at tonight's meeting. If the board approves, the city will be one of the first in the country to honor Kirk that way. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WIAB. I'm Chris Davis.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
Welcome into the Lindsey Beckham Show. It is Tuesday, and you guys know what that means. It is Pour It Out Tuesday with Morgan. Morgan, you remember our tagline this week?
I know. We've been tossing around so many different things, but pretty much this is it's like a lunchtime happy hour, but we're making it radio.
Yep. Lunchtime happy hour.
Unfortunately, no alcohol, but
but with opinions.
Right. Opinions
that
for
are
sure.
as strong as tequila.
That's right. That's right.
We have lots of opinions.
Yep.
I think all women do.
Yeah.
Most women probably do.
Yeah.
But
most of them are good though. Right?
Of course. I mean, better than the
Our
other
male counterparts.
The counterpart. Yeah, of course. But we are coming to you live from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. Listen, so Sean was in here with me yesterday, and I said, "Hey, Sean, do I look like I'm glowing?" And he was like, "Yeah, is that what you do when you are over 40?" I was like, "Haha, you're real funny." I said, "No, that's what happens when you go to Women's Wellness and you get a ZO glass facial like I did
right.
last week. It brings
How was
out
that
glow.
Oh, so good. It's my favorite.
So amazing. I don't know. My favorite part was, I don't know what those things are called, but those cold
globes. Mm-hmm.
It felt so
I know.
good. And I was thinking, this is probably what anybody with like migraines needs this.
It feels so good. And that aloe mask and then the cold globes. And it's just, yes.
It was incredible. I know. I was so relaxed. I don't know that I've ever been that relaxed. I was like falling asleep, like trying to not fall asleep in there. And I said, I don't think I've ever get this much peace, like a peaceful, because the environment is just so calming.
That's right.
So women, men, if you need to get your women something like that,
we
you cannot go wrong.
Of men in our med spa section for sure.
Do y'all have men come and get facials?
Oh yeah, we do all the time. Hydrofacials, regular facials, and we have the laser treatments too. So we have like tattoo removal, and we'll even like
does Bo still come do that? Okay.
He does.
Shout out to Bo. I can never say his last name.
Right. Yeah. He comes on Tuesdays, and then if it's outside of a Tuesday, you get me.
Well, you're just as good as Bo. You're a little prettier.
Now, don't let him hear you say that.
I know he might be offended by that.
Now, I will say they're like Bo for a while. We both got trained at the same time, and Bo was doing them like exclusively. I was not doing them because he was there more days, and now that he's dialed back to just one day, I've had to kind of step in on some pages because not everybody can come on a Tuesday.
Right.
So I'll pick up the slack, but I do defer sometimes to him because he is very knowledgeable about the tattoo removal. So it's good to have.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing when it comes to that. Maybe not about other things. But I'm kidding, Bo. I'm just kidding. But we are live from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. The call-in number to the show is 601-879-0002. We also have a text line now, also 601-879-4648. And Morgan got me a number where you can text my name, Lindsey, with an E, and that I've got it.
I don't remember what the number was, though.
Yeah. So if you are interested in anything like weight loss, semaglutide, the hormone replacement therapy, facial, skincare,
Anything at all.
aesthetics,
We made
any
it so
of it,
easy.
anything, wellness,
Mhm.
lab work. Just, you can text my name, Lindsey, with an E, 601-990-4255, and they will get back with you, give you all the information that you need, get you scheduled to come in and see them, and you will be thanking me for it. I assure you. You will not regret it. So that is the number that you can reach Women's Wellness to find out about all of those things. So I think that's all the
Updates.
housekeeping.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So Morgan, I told you I was going to solve a murder.
I know, and I cannot wait to hear. Like, I know you're not gonna like just show us all your cards yet, but how's it coming? How are y'all?
I am blown away by the interest and the
yeah.
amount of people who have reached out and want to talk and who remember things from that long ago,
Right.
23 years ago. I mean, this is something that really stuck out in a lot of people's minds. I mean, number one, it was horrific. It was a horrible, horrible murder. And number two, nobody was ever brought to justice for
Right.
it. And number three, I think Eddie Williams, and that's who was killed,
Mhm.
I think he was just really loved and respected in this community. He was 31 years old,
Mhm.
very young, had his whole life ahead of him. He had just built his dream home he never got to live in. And, I think that a lot of people have just been sick about this for so many years and are thrilled to actually see some new light being shed on it. And hopefully, even though it's been that many years, we will be able to talk to enough people, get enough information that, the case can be, they say it's still an open case, but, be really opened back up and active. Right.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll tell you, I had a few patients even yesterday after I shared your post about it, like just kind of like a trailer teaser or whatever that y'all are gonna be doing that. And I had like 2 patients yesterday that came in that knew that I was on the show with you. And anyways, they were like, oh my gosh, I want to know more. I'm like, well, honestly, I'm going to have to wait till Tuesday because I have not talked to her about it. Like, they just launched it or just starting to dig in. I know that they were like knee deep in all the files and things. And so I was like, but it's going to be very interesting and I can't wait to hear.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is. It is. And we are going to continue that. We kind of yesterday just gave an overview and we've just really kind of,
Scratch the surface.
yeah, we're just scratched the surface. We're just kicking the dust up. And I think it's going to be really
I feel like we should have like
interesting.
a hotline number. Like,
I know.
Anonymous hotline number.
Well, I do have my show text line.
There you go.
If anybody
Yeah.
wants to text, you can email me, Lindsey@wyab.com, or the text line again,
Yeah.
601-879-4648. So if you have any information about the 2002 murder of Eddie Williams, or you know anybody that knows anything, or you have thought about it since yesterday when you heard us talking about it and you remembered something that you might want to share, I'm your girl.
Yeah. Send those
Yeah,
send those
send
tips and leads in.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I feel like as many cases as we can, I think mostly it's the family, like just bringing
Absolutely.
the closure and that peace and closure and justice to the
Mhm.
family is so important. And, and I said this yesterday about my sister, but her murder was never solved. And so it's just something that you don't ever stop thinking about. It haunts you.
Right.
And there are times when I've been, walking down the road or out shopping or at the mall, and I pass by somebody and I'll think to myself, could that have been the person
Right.
that
Because
murdered?
nobody
Knows.
Yeah.
So I think it's just so important to never give up on those things, especially when you have so many people who are still around and still and want to talk. They want to
Right.
share. So
Right. And one of my patients specifically said that she like lived over there by Time Out in the apartment complexes and everything. So it's like, I mean, people were there, like
yeah,
relatively close to the site of this happening. So
yeah,
I'm sure, and two, just for everybody around, it's like nobody knows why it happened,
right,
how it happened, so you get to thinking, if this was just a senseless act or no rhyme or reason, or you don't know why it happened,
right,
could it happen to me?
Exactly.
So the community as a whole, like, wants answers too. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's been a heavy week.
So heavy.
I,
Heavy 2
I don't know.
weeks.
Yeah. I don't even know another word to describe that other than heavy. But y'all had a great turnout Saturday. I saw the pictures.
We did at the Danes Day Dove Hunt. It was a benefit for Dane, and it was so sweet. Really, his son-in-law, his daughter got married around Christmas time this last year. They just had the baby and all of that. But
I saw pictures of
I
her.
know
She's
she's
so
so
sweet.
cute. But his son-in-law actually had the idea to do this dove hunt. I mean, they're going to hunt dove every year,
Right.
you know,
Of course.
they're going to do that.
That's going to
And
happen
so,
anyway.
yeah.
So why not put
So
it
he
to
was
good
like,
use?
you know what, I want to do a benefit, for Dane. And so, and he did, and I was so proud of him and my niece, and that, backed up, unintentionally backed up. I wish I could have done more to help them, but it was all in their hands. And, we hated that. I don't know that I actually posted this on the Dane report, but Dane and Mandy, they ended up getting stuck in Houston. His treatment plans had got switched around. And so they actually couldn't even make the event. But,
I hate that.
know. But I was like, it's okay. It's not like it's his birthday party. It's not like he's
But I'm
taking
sure it
blood
was still
candle,
like a
but
big boost, a big confidence boost to him just to see
all the support.
all those people come out and
Everybody
all the
rooting him
T-shirts
on.
that were ordered.
Yes. And I think, we did do one batch of the T-shirts. I think we still have a few more orders that we need to fulfill, and everybody who ordered for shipping, those will be getting out here soon in the next few days. But I think we might actually keep the shirts going, or maybe change up something, maybe take the dove hunt off or something, but just have an
Y'all need
ongoing.
I love the shirts. Like they are so
Mhm,
good looking.
mhm.
I know you
Oh,
designed them,
yeah.
but y'all need a more
Girly version.
feminine
Yes.
one.
Yes. And when you're trying to put everything together so quick,
I
it's like we
know.
just had to do the unisex, but it won't be difficult for us to have an alternative version.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of people ask about kid sizes.
Yeah.
So want their little people, supporting Dane too. So so I would think that we're probably gonna add to that collection and have it on the website still. So we also threw up a website, danesday.org. And so there's also a way to donate on the actual website as
Are y'all
opposed to
like putting
GoFundMe.
updates there too?
We can. I actually thought about that last week. I was like, oh,
Maybe just have
maybe
like
I'll
one
do a
place for
blog.
everything.
Yeah, like, it wouldn't be anything to
Or even just
start the blog where it has the posts on there.
Yeah, or even just a link to the that
Mhm.
takes you to the post on
Yeah.
the do y'all have what is it?
So we have the GoFundMe, but I hadn't been posting the actual updates in there because I feel like that site's a little difficult. So it was easier for people just to find me on Facebook, and I have the post, just on my
Right.
regular feed. But I think even if I copy and paste them into the danesday.org website, it'll be easy for people to
Just
find
one,
it. know
one
one
universal
spot.
place to go. Yeah.
Right.
And get all the
And-
updates and
mhm.
then what's coming up and ways they can help.
That's right.
Any new news from this last visit?
He just started his new chemo treatments yesterday. And so we were experiencing some adverse reactions to the chemotherapy or the immunotherapy that he was on with the clinical trial. So we had to stop that. It was causing his lungs to fill up with fluid and stuff like that. So obviously we can't continue on that path.
We need his lungs healthy.
Right. Have to be able to breathe, if nothing else. So they did another pancreatic biopsy and are sending that off for all the genetic testing, which we were unable to do in the beginning because they didn't have enough tissue. So that's being sent off, waiting for that. It'll take a few weeks. But
that's what y'all are concerned. Y'all were trying to debate.
Yes.
Last Tuesday we were talking about, you didn't know if you wanted to do
the biopsy or not. And it came down to we have to,
You need to know.
if we want to try to do any other kind of treatments besides the standard of care chemo treatment, which that's what he's doing now. And
but
it's
to have like a treatment that's specific for what he needs.
Targeted therapy, you have to have those
You have to know what you're
genetic.
treating.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep, we have to have its name essentially.
So
So,
those, I guess those results
mhm.
probably haven't come back yet.
No, it takes a few weeks for those. And so in the meantime, he's going to do the standard of care chemo, which is a stronger, because we had the chemo with immunotherapy, but that chemo that was paired with that was none of it's gentle, but a gentler version of chemo. And so now we're doing just the first line standard of care, which is a little bit harder of a punch than what he was on. So it's, 4 to 6 hour infusion. And then he actually wears a pump for 2 days. And it's a combination of 4 different chemotherapy drugs is what all of it equates to. And he'll do that every 2 weeks. So
I'm sure they are so thankful that they have you to kind of, I mean, you just got out of nurse practitioner
I
school.
know,
So it's like
I know, and I wish that I was more specialized in that, but we are working on, coming up with some local collaborations with physicians. So maybe while they're in this shorter phase of doing the standard of care, maybe they can do some treatments here and not have to leave so much. Because
I was going to say,
he
we need,
doesn't
how
want to
often,
leave that baby.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Why would he?
I
How often is he
know.
having to go?
Every other week, and it's like several days.
And
at a
that
time. That's a
wears
whole
him
week.
out. That
It
wears him
does.
out. I
It
bet.
does.
Especially
sure.
being on the chemo, you're already tired.
Already
and
tired,
yeah.
and it's a 6-hour
Yeah,
drive.
that'd be amazing if y'all could figure
Mhm.
out a way to do some of it locally so that he doesn't have to travel as much.
Right.
But,
That's our goal for
Yeah.
sure.
well,
So
we're all praying for
Yes,
him.
keep the prayers going, especially now because he's on a new regimen, new symptoms and side effects from that he didn't experience before, and so it's just it's like as soon as you get used to something,
It's like whack-a-mole.
we got to
Yeah.
change it and start all over almost.
Yeah, and you
Mhm.
never know how the body's going to react
That's
to
right.
each one of these
That's
different
right.
things. Well, Morgan and I are going to talk about the things that have taken place in the last week, the world that has just gone mad on us, and
That's right.
how we are able to navigate that when we don't even know what we're feeling and then have to talk to our kids about it. But we're going to break all that down and have that conversation when we come back after this first commercial break. So y'all stay with us right here on the Lindsey Beckham Show. It's Poured Out Tuesday with Morgan Charleigh.
So I only ask that you please tell our advertisers that you appreciate their support of 103.9 WYAB. And keep listening.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites, martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the blue plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like the Kubota L-Series compact tractor, the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S., Z-Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available or save up to $3,500. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Divini Equipment, serving you in Madison and Jackson. Stop, call, or click at DiviniEquipment.com.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse, or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner.
Come together right now.
We are back here on the Lindsey Beckham Show. It is Tuesday, so I am joined by my Tuesday co-host, Miss Morgan Charleigh over there. And we were talking through text, and I know you did a podcast episode this week.
I did on Sunday.
Do you want to tell a little bit about tell people what your podcast name is and how to find it? And
yeah, it's
all
Get
those
Real
things.
with Morgan Charleigh. You can find it pretty much anywhere that you listen to your podcast. So Apple, Amazon, Spotify, all the places. But I try to do one a week, and I was trying to get back into that flow. And last week would have been my first official weekly episode. And
she had kind of given it up, and then she came into the radio show.
did.
She's like, "Oh,
I also had to finish school, so literally it was 11 months I took off. But I kind of was sidelined by last week's events.
Yeah,
and I could not. I had a episode recorded, and I just felt it was
wasn't right.
insufficient to even post. Like I couldn't hit go on it, and so I just didn't. And luckily, I didn't, because I really didn't know. I'm sure you feel the same way. I didn't know. I knew I had a bunch of different feelings going on, and I wasn't sure which direction I was right to take them. You know, anger and sadness, heartbreak, and just confusion. There's just so much wrong with what's going on.
Right.
And I went to church Sunday, and our preacher, Josh, I was so happy because I was nervous. Somebody had posted, maybe you shared it on Facebook. Somebody had asked,
do you think your preacher should mention Charlie Kirk tomorrow? And there were a lot of, I didn't expect to get that much feedback. There are a lot of strong opinions. And honestly, I don't believe a preacher has to mention it necessarily, but I think.
Well, I think if you look at what it is, because so many people are looking at it's right or it's left, it's Democrat, it's Republican. But at the end of the day, Charlie was a Republican. He did fight for conservatives and what conservatives believe in, but he talked about God.
First and foremost, and he said it all the time.
Yes.
He was a Christian.
He was leading Christians, making heaven crowded. And so I would have had to really question my church. And I know that's strong. I would have had to really question my church if our pastor did not bring it up, because a Christian, a publicly known Christian that spoke loud, proud, and often about the love and, Jesus Christ, our Savior, got shot point blank in the middle, in front of thousands at a college, on a college campus.
Right.
And it was broadcasted over social media and every news outlet. And for a pastor to not acknowledge that is them putting their political beliefs before God, in my opinion.
Either that or being so afraid to touch a political topic, which I have a problem with, because it's very clear that Christians are pro-life, or they should be if they follow the Bible, and Christians are believe the things that Charlie believed,
right?
And so it just felt I didn't do the show the
Mhm.
next day. This happened Wednesday afternoon,
Mhm.
Thursday.
I think I saw you maybe went on Friday, maybe?
I went on
Yeah, and I was
Friday.
crying with you.
I pulled myself together enough to come on Friday, but Thursday I knew if I got behind this microphone, like they were gonna hear nothing but I hadn't stopped crying yet.
Right.
I mean, from the second that it happened, and I think a lot of people were feeling that way, and a lot of people were feeling like, why this is so strange. Why am I feeling like I lost someone I knew?
And that's how I was.
I've never met this man. Why does it feel this way? And I think it's because we know what he died for.
I think so too. And another just thought too is that shows you how social media does keep people so connected too. Because I've never spoken to Charlie, but I watched him nearly every day.
Right.
I was watching a TikTok, something that was him debating somebody one way or another, or whatever, or the turning point or whatever. And so social media does connect everybody, but almost too much because, the videos going around and we saw things we should not have seen.
I was mortified.
Yeah.
And I had nightmares.
Mhm.
And, you couldn't unsee it once you saw it. And it was so gruesome and so brutal. And, I picked my kids up from school and my eyes are just red and swollen. And they're like, what is going on? They're thinking somebody
Right.
in our family has died. But honestly, I didn't know Charlie personally. He was a great friend of our Moms for Liberty, the organization. We worked a lot with Turning Point and we loved Charlie and he loved us.
Mhm.
So, but I think a lot of people felt like I think if you have a moral compass, you hurt more
Right.
so than if it had been just a different like type of celebrity.
Mhm.
I think if you have a moral compass and a heart, you felt like, hey, this man died for a reason.
Right. And I do think that seeing it happen in real life like that, filtered and just right there, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I don't think that I've seen anything quite like that since JFK. I mean, I wasn't alive for JFK, but I'm saying like the videos, I don't, there's very few videos of assassinations that you actually capture that magnitude.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so I
It
know
was
the world,
horrific.
I know the world cried then. I'm a baby.
I cried and cried
Yeah.
and cried. I mean,
So-
until I had literally no
Mhm.
tears left in my body. I think anybody that watched the show Friday, you saw me
I
a
was
big
crying
puddle
watching you though.
and there was snot everywhere and tears everywhere. And I was like, I'm sorry. I mean, if I'm going to
Right.
sit here and talk about it, and I agree with what you said, I felt like it would have been disrespectful to talk about anything else
Mhm.
at that time.
Mhm. Because you don't have to talk about politics with it. Like the values are the Christian values, and you can leave it at that. You don't have to
Mhm.
say this is what the right believes, this is what the left believes. It's what Christians believe this and this and this and this and this, and that's what Charlie was fighting for.
And I think that's truly
So
what he cared about
that's-
more than anything else
Right.
was if he could
Keep
leave
in this country.
right, leave one message with those young people. I think it
Mhm.
was get a relationship with Jesus Christ.
Right. Not letting this country slip into the chaos and turmoil and that's one thing I talked about on my podcast this week was, I am angry, very angry. And I've watched so many reels and so many speeches and things, letters that were written. And it's, one in particular was, I don't want to stand complacent across the aisle from you anymore. I want to defeat you. And I took that and at first I was like, yes, agreed. And then I started thinking, I'm like, but the people are not what I want to defeat. This is a spiritual warfare.
Oh, for sure.
This is
I
spiritual
mean,
warfare. The enemy is who we should be linking arms to defeat at
And
the end of the day.
Right. I posted a meme or shared it that said, I hope that the demons rejoice when
Mhm.
I die too.
That's
The
right.
way that they are rejoicing. And, I have to believe that these people who are rejoicing in his death are they're of the world. They've been fooled. They've been tricked. They've been lied to.
They have been with the just. I don't know. I've just seen so many things that were so intellectually unintelligent and manipulative, where that, broadcasters, news anchors, social media influencers, whatever, and they just take little bitty pieces and they feed it. And if you are a follower, if you're just following the herd here, then you're going to be you can be easily corrupted.
Right.
And that's what a lot of them are doing. They're taking like one little sliver of what Charlie said and calling him racist.
Mhm.
They're, saying he hated transgenders. I don't think that was the case. I don't think he hated anybody. I don't think
he refused to live in their reality,
but
he loved the people.
All of his debates were trying to get people to answer questions about whatever their belief was. Give an intelligent, logical explanation of your belief here. Try to convince me.
Mhm.
And they couldn't do it, and that made him angry.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, he wasn't killed because he said anything that was along the lines of hate speech.
Mm-mm.
He was killed because he was effective and
That's right.
he was changing lives
hearts. Yeah.
and changing hearts. And that's what they can't stand.
Mhm.
And that's what and like you were saying, I think you said, I don't know if you said this on air during the break, but if we're going to believe God is real,
Oh,
we
yeah.
have to also believe evil is real and
You have
demonic.
to.
There are demonic forces, and I just don't believe that anybody could do what was done without there being some demonic force behind that.
Right. Well, and you have to think about cultures that this, not necessarily like, I mean, we're in a different century now, but like just killing people and celebrating it or showing no emotion at all. Those were secular people, they,
of the world,
yeah,
right.
they were not
Of God,
Christians.
right.
They didn't have the bleeding heart. They didn't have, the compassion and feel, the feelings when somebody dies, because that was just, it was nothing to them.
So these people that feel this overwhelming amount of grief like we do, I think that's a good thing. I think it's saying you've got a heart, you've got some sort of moral compass about you, and you knew this was a good man. We got to take our next commercial break, but when we come back, I wanted to talk with you about how we talk to our children about these
that's
things.
Been a
and
thing too.
Yeah, that's so tough to do. And my kids, I said on the show Friday, my oldest daughter was, after this happened, mortified that somebody was going to come and try to hurt me. You speak out on the same things, that a lot of the same things that Charlie spoke. And so, now our kids are in fear that someone's going to attack their parents. And yeah. And so it's just it's so sad that we live in a world like that. But I want to discuss that and break that down with you on how you talk to kids about bad things, evil things, when things like this happen. But y'all stay with us. We'll be right back after this short commercial break on the Lindsey Beckham Show. We'll be right back after this short commercial break on the Lindsey Beckham Show.
103.9 WYAB.
Friday night lights, family, and a hot Johnny's Pizza House pizza on the table. Now that's our kind of hustle. Make it a sweep the kitchen and bring everyone together. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice. Here in the South, we keep our football loud and our pizza loaded. Grab a Johnny's Pizza House, sweep the kitchen, and cheer on your hometown team. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
Friday night lights, family, and a hot Johnny's Pizza House pizza on the table. Now that's our kind of hustle. Make it a soup to kitchen and bring everyone together. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice. Here in the South, we keep our football loud and our pizza loaded. Grab a Johnny's Pizza House sweep the kitchen and cheer on your hometown team. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
CBS News Brief. FBI Director Kash Patel faced some heated questions today from lawmakers. CBS's Nicole Killian is there.
Democrats especially are certainly trying to ask some very pointed questions of the director, particularly with respect to the purging of a number of career officials.
As well as the handling of the investigation into Charlie Kirk's killing. Luigi Mangione, accused of killing United Healthcare CEO, was in a New York court this morning where 2 state terrorism charges were thrown out. Jacob Ware, the Council on Foreign Relations.
The New York Attorney General's office was attempting to make an argument that this killing was intended to intimidate people or change policy in some way. And that didn't really appear to be the case.
Israel has begun its ground offensive in Gaza City. At the UN, Human Rights Chief Volker Turk.
I call on Israel to stop its wanton destruction of Gaza.
Israel's defense minister declared Gaza is burning as the operation began. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
This copy machine has me so frustrated. I could just body slam it.
Whoa there, leave the body slamming to the pros and leave superior high-quality office tech to the experts at Advantage Business Systems, brother.
Woo! Get it!
Never body slam your copy machine again. Visit absms.com. Advantage Business Systems, laying the smackdown on bad tech.
Business owners, tired of drowning in payroll, compliance, and back office headaches? P-Police has your back. P-Police can free you from the never-ending grind of employee administration, such as time and attendance, onboarding, background checks, even business insurance. While you focus on growing your business, P-Police handles the paperwork. Stop stressing and start succeeding. Partner with P-Police, locally based in Ridgeland. Visit ppolice.com and get back to business.
Men, let's talk about low testosterone. Do you suffer from any of these symptoms? Low sex drive, ED. Are you always tired, depressed? You have loss of muscle mass? You're obese? Maybe you have loss of focus and drive? Then you, my friends, may suffer from low testosterone. Let my buddies over at Men's Health in Mississippi, located right there in Madison, check your numbers today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. Check them out online at menshealthms.com. That's menshealthms.com. Men's Health Mississippi.
B-Dubs cocktails, pretzel knots, and mozzarella sticks. It's all on me today.
Oh, so you're happy hour rich when the happy hour menu is only $3 to $6 from 3 to 6 p.m.
$3 to $6. That's crazy.
You know we're at happy hour right now from 3 to 6 p.m.
It's happy hour crazy.
We were here yesterday too.
Crazy.
Quit playing. I'm gonna let you pay though. Food, beer, and cocktails for $3 to $6 from 3 to 6 p.m. Buffalo Wild Wings for the greatest of all times. Monday through Friday only. Beer deals available all day at participating locations. Taxes and fees apply. Dine in only. Drink responsibly. Offers vary by location. Void where prohibited.
Come together right now.
We are back here on the Lindsey Beckham Show with Tuesdays with Morgan Charleigh, where we are breaking down our kind of thoughts and feelings last week as the whole Charlie Kirk assassination played out. And I want to know, Morgan, did your kids come to you with it, or did you talk to them about it that night, or kind of how did that go at your house?
They actually came to me. I was kind of taken back because I didn't expect for them to
know who he was.
Know it happened. I don't know. I didn't know really what was going on in the schools, if it was talked about or not. I mean, I've got one in middle school, so maybe, and he's very, very smart. And so maybe he keeps up with things. I wasn't real sure. But Friday, when I picked him up from school, he got in the car And I actually think I was listening to your episode in the car, like on my phone, while I was in carpool line. And so he heard, I guess, Charlie Kirk's name or whatever on there. And he asked, he said, "Oh, did you know about that? Did you watch him? Like, did you know him?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, yeah, babe, I did." I was like, "But what do you know? What did you know?" And she said, or he said that, well, he was a Christian. I know that. And that was the first thing. And I was like, there you go.
That's what you needed to know. Yeah.
There you go. That it wasn't about politics. It wasn't about anything. He said, "Well, I know that he was a Christian and somebody shot him." And that, just from a child's perspective, like that was what he took from, I don't know what information he saw or who fed it to him, but like
that's what he took.
That's what he took from it was he was a Christian and somebody killed him. And you know what, I think there's a lot that holds a lot of weight, because it doesn't matter if the beliefs were wrapped into a political, you know, chapter or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like the beliefs were the beliefs, period. And he got killed for those, you know?
Right.
And even my 9-year-old got in the car, and I'm not sure what prompted him, but he said Charlie Kirk's name. He was talking to his brother, and I was like, "What do you know about that?" I mean, and he was like, "Oh, I know he got killed at a college, and he was debating, and he was a Christian." And so that's all, and that's what I was saying, you know, talking about the church and everything. It's like that was the point. That was the biggest point. The most important point was that he was a Christian that was assassinated for his beliefs. So,
did y'all have any deeper conversations about it, or did you just kind of let them kind of talk about what they knew? And
I did talk to them, and it's hard because you don't know how much information to give them.
Right. I know
they are little, but I am a firm believer that you have to talk to your kids. You cannot sugarcoat it. You cannot act like it is not out there, because it doesn't matter if you try to put them in a bubble. Eventually they have to come out of the bubble.
Right.
And they have to know right and wrong, because if they get out into the world without those morals, without those strongholds, those pillars in their life, they're
just way more susceptible to
they're
the
going,
evils of this
yes,
world.
the world is strong.
And we're seeing so many, especially at that college age, become radicalized, or, you know, just be fed all of this indoctrination, especially on college campuses.
Right. And that's where it is. I was watching somebody on social media this morning and was saying, you know, they grew up in a conservative household, and they've been,
I mean, they were Mormon,
and they like had been living as, you know, a Democrat now and not going to church and all these things. But that started in college.
Right.
In that little ecosystem. I'll tell you, I started questioning colleges when they started creating safe spaces.
Yeah.
Like what are, no, your safe spaces in your dorm, go scream into your pillow. You got 3 minutes, and you got to come on with it. You got to get over it. You got to step back into the real world.
Right.
But no.
Yeah. And I know we've talked about this before, but it's like the so many people are throwing kids into therapy at such a young age.
Oh
And
my
we're teaching them that, okay, well, now everything revolves around how you feel.
How
No,
you
you're going to
feel.
feel things.
Yes.
You're going to be sad. You're going to be angry. You're going to be
That's
mad.
not what we make decisions on.
No, you have to be a person who can
deal.
Put your big girl panties on
Yes.
and keep going. You've got to have some perseverance. We need to be teaching perseverance.
Yes. Exactly.
And not, oh, let's crawl into a hole and cry about our feelings.
No, you have to be able to, and that's one thing. If you don't know your values, if you don't know your why you believe this, why you're doing this, why you're living this way, if you do not know that at your core, then you can't combat anything that the world's going to throw at you.
Right. And you know why, Morgan? I think that the whole reason is, and all of this comes back to faith and a relationship with Christ, because if you are feeling these things like sadness and depression and anxiety, and you have these suicidal thoughts, well, you have no hope. You're
That's right.
hopeless.
You're hopeless.
And there's no hope outside of Christ.
Mhm.
That's what gives us hope to get through the challenging times and to deal with those feelings that we can't understand or deal with ourselves when it feels like it's too much. That's when we lay it down at his feet.
That's right.
And so that's why these children that and college age kids that don't have that relationship and that hope for a future go down these roads
because they don't know what they're living for.
Right. Exactly.
They don't know what they're living for or what their mission in life is.
And I'm with Charleigh on the fact that I really unless you have a very specific profession like lawyer or doctor or something that you absolutely have to be in college for, I kind of discourage it at this point.
I advocate for bringing skills back.
Absolutely.
Like
trade schools.
I went to VOTEC here, Madison County schools when I was in high school. And that was like a thing that a lot of people didn't do, but I always knew I wanted to be in the medical field and they had allied health. And and not to mention it was an opportunity to get out of the school.
Right. Yeah.
You got to actually drive there and like
do something different.
Go eat lunch, on your way back to school and stuff like that. But I mean, they have automotive shop and wood shop and marketing and things like that because you don't need a degree.
No.
You don't. A lot of things.
You absolutely don't. We need to be encouraging.
You need brain cells.
Right. But we need to be encouraging like these entrepreneurial spirits and the minds to be able to think of ways outside of the box.
That's right.
To make things happen. And I think a lot of the most successful people in the world may not have a college degree. They didn't need it for what they have done to be successful.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, like you said, there are some roles that you definitely need. You've got to have that diploma. You got to have that degree in order to get into and advance in. But there's a lot that you don't. And if you just have a generic degree, a lot of times that's going to put you in some sort of a box where, okay, well, you can only make this much money and this is what you do. And you can't get out of it if you were never taught any kind of entrepreneurial skills.
Right. Exactly. We only have a few minutes left, but I wanted to ask you how you feel or what is your response, your opinion on these college professors and not even that, other professions as well. These people being fired who are posting to social media about you cheering on Charlie's death.
So I get there's an argument about, here we are saying freedom of speech. Charleigh was killed and, he was just speaking, whatever, freely. But I think that there is a moral and ethical code in your workplace where if you can't cuss somebody out and not get fired.
There's consequences.
You can't do something that's unethical, demoralizing, and still hold your position. So you can say if you have a intelligent response, I don't think you should get fired for speaking that. But this was an inhuman response. This was, a hateful response to somebody dying. So, like I know a nurse spoke out about a doctor. You're there to first do no harm.
Right.
You're there to save people's lives. People are supposed to put their lives in your hands. And here you are going to cheer over somebody that you didn't even know that lost theirs. Like, badge taken. You're out.
Right.
You're gone.
And, I mean, and people do have the freedom of speech. They have the freedom to say those things, but that doesn't mean it's without consequences.
Right. That's true.
And I agree. I almost think your profession matters.
It does
as well, because like you said, if you're a doctor, your first thing you do is take an oath to do no harm, and you're cheering over harm to someone. And then if you're a teacher and you have a child in your classroom, especially a child who's younger, who really looked up to Charlie Kirk and who lives in a home where the family listened to Charlie Kirk and respected him, and you're speaking to that class about how you're happy about his death, that child's going to feel uncomfortable and unsafe in that classroom.
Well, and it's a slippery slope. Like, how do you teach children how to be good, how to be kind, how to be compassionate and empathetic, and how to do better in this world, make this world better? How does celebrating a death
go hand in hand with that?
Make this world better? How does that make the world better? You can't do both.
It doesn't.
You can't do both.
You can't do both. We got to take our last commercial break, but y'all stay with us and we will be right back here on the Lindsey Beckham Show to wrap things up on this Pour It Out Tuesday with Morgan Charleigh. Out Tuesday with Morgan Charleigh.
.1039 WYAB.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
If you're a parent or grandparent, you should know that even though Mississippi is ranked as the unhealthiest state in the country, we have the highest vaccination rate for our children and grandchildren. Many of us blindly trust the medical establishment, and now it's time to question vaccine safety. Mississippi Parents for Vaccine Rights is a grassroots organization working to educate the public and lawmakers about this important topic. Be informed. Go to mpvr.org. Like us on Facebook to stay up to date on the latest information. That's Mississippi Parents for Vaccine Rights, mpvr.org.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, experience counts. And the Rusty Healy Agency has been serving Madison and the rest of the Jackson Metro for over 35 years. Local agent Landon Thompson is keeping that trusted tradition going strong. As a local independent agent, he's not locked into one provider. The Rusty Healy Agency can shop the top insurance companies to find the best fit for you. And everyone knows that the Rusty Healy Agency and Landon Thompson offer top quality local customer service. Contact Landon today at 601-856-3681.
Here's a word from John White, the owner of Two Gun Tactical in Flowood and Ridgeland.
I carry a gun every day, all the time. Last year in America, 2 million legal guns were pulled and it stopped the threat. So I'm really wearing a firearm just to stop the threat. There's more likelihood of me just pulling it and not using it than there is using it. TwoGunTactical.com, TwoGunTactical.com.
Two Gun Tactical, the South's only country club.
It can be hard to move past the guilt, times of weakness and regret, knowing you weren't there for your family when they needed you the most. But there is life after addiction. We're seeing broken families restored, one man at a time, through our vehicle, cash, and thrift store donations. It's given Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge the ability to help these men succeed in having better lives. Donate a vehicle, running or not, and we'll come pick it up. Call today, 601-572-7296, or visit us at vehicledonationsms.com.
Rotor's Plumbing of Pearl, your familiar plumber with these similar names. Locally owned and operated by Chris Rotor. Rotor's Plumbing is no franchise, simply lower prices and better service without the dreaded overpriced upsell. Rotor's is one of the few places you'll find that actually specialize in tankless water heater repair, as well as being your full-service plumber. And most importantly, service after the sale, meaning the techs actually answer your call, with misses averaging callbacks of 10 minutes or less. Rotor's Plumbing at roedersplumbing.com.
Hello, I'm Gary Jolly from the Tractor Store. LS Tractor understands your passion for the land, and just like you, LS Tractor is committed to excellence and superior products. LS Tractor comes with a long list of standard features that are unmatched by other brands, and backed with the LS commitment to provide exceptional customer service and satisfaction. You get a lot more for your money with the LS Tractor. Come to the Tractor Store in Richland to experience the LS difference. The Tractor Store in Richland.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com. We are back here. We only have about a minute and a half left. But Morgan, your podcast is called
Get Real with Morgan.
Get Real.
Yeah, Get Real with Morgan Charleigh. You can find it on Apple or anywhere else you listen. Or I've shared, I think there's a link in my bio too.
Link in bio.
Link in bio. That's our lingo.
How's your crock pot working this
Oh my
week?
gosh, I haven't pulled it out this week. I'm a little traumatized, I think, after the last week.
Yes, Morgan tried to cook and forgot to
People are
plug
still
her.
talking about it though.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's
Mhm.
hilarious to me. It's so something that I would do. Come home and think I'm going to have dinner ready, and
Absolutely
I would
not.
like be patting myself on the back, like I did this
Mm-mm.
early, and
Oh,
now
yeah.
I've got everything handled. Walk in there and realize
That just
didn't
shows
plug
you,
it in.
You can have your A game on and still fail.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Well, here's to hoping that this
Yes.
next week is not so heavy and not full of so many traumatizing
Right.
things, and that we don't have to see murders playing
Right.
out in front of us
But
constantly on
what do we
social
always
media.
say? God never wastes a moment. So
That's right.
That
And he
those
doesn't.
those heavy moments will not be wasted.
Beauty from ashes,
That's
and we're
right.
seeing that as all of these young people
Mhm,
are
mhm.
excited about wanting to start their own turning point chapters in high
Yes.
schools and colleges.
I think
and
I
so
shared on my stories, MSU and Ole Miss's
turning point
yeah.
chapters. Yeah, their meetings, their
Mhm,
upcoming meetings.
mhm.
Yeah. So we're seeing lots of those chapters open. So Charlie's legacy will be played out, and he
Absolutely.
will continue to change lives even in his death, but he will be remembered as a hero.
For
But
sure.
that's all we have got for today. I will be back here tomorrow. Morgan will be back here with me next Tuesday.
See y'all
We'll see you
Tuesday.
then. Bye.